Hi there plant fans, and welcome to an actual sunny day in North Devon, which I'm very happy about because the weather forecast is much improved for the next few days. Of course, just as the kids go back to school from the summer holidays, but that's just life, isn't it? So thank you very much for popping along today. This is a bit of a spontaneous video. What I'm going to be doing today is propagating some rhizomes from this Begonia mazae. The story behind this one, so something I would never have predicted when I opened a plant shop last year, is that local people actually want to give me stuff that they don't know what to do with anymore, like for nothing, which I think is just amazing and so kind. So a few weeks ago, a gentleman called Clive popped in to ask me if I'd like his granny's aspidistra. He didn't really know what to do with it anymore, wasn't in the best of health, blah, blah, blah. So I said, yes, thank you very much, that'd be lovely. So about a month ago, he turned up with the aspidistra, so I've repotted that. But he happened to mention, oh, I've got another plant for you, Helen. I wonder if you'd like it. So he went to the boot of his car and lo and behold came back with an absolutely enormous trailing Begonia mazae. So unfortunately it was a bit bald on top. Well, it was very bald on top. It was also very dry and crispy, poor thing. The rhizomes had got ridiculously long and it was so dry. So I basically chopped everything off and I've had it all sitting in water for about a month. And today I've realised just how very, very rooty the rhizomes are. So my plan with these, I may well do an additional video on this when I pot up the nice leafy cuttings of the plant. My plan for today is to try something I've never tried before, but I've read a few times that it can be very successful. I'm going to actually try and propagate some of the bald parts of the rhizomes of this begonia. So if I just wiggle one out, you can see how much bald material I've got left. I've got several stems, a lot like this. So I've got inches and inches, wow, look at those roots. Inches and inches of bald rhizome that I can play with. So rather than waste them, I have heard that you can propagate these very much like a wet stick. So I thought I'd give that a try before I move on to repotting the rest of the plant. As I say, I've never done it before, it's a complete unknown. I'm really hoping it will be successful because I absolutely love this begonia. I've been looking for one for quite a long time. It's really striking. I do like the smaller leaf varieties as well. So I'm really, really hoping it will be successful. So I haven't shown you these two bits, look at that. Absolutely bonkers. So if you imagine it was all hanging out of this very bald pot, all just hanging down like that. So you can see why I've chosen to go the way I have, I think. The first thing we need to do is decide which bits of our bald rhizomes we're going to chop off to propagate. So I think it's very obvious that we are going to definitely do, oh my goodness, I can't even get them apart. We're going to do these two nice long bits. So what I'm going to do is chop this off, leaving enough for this lovely bit of stem to reroot later on. So I think I'm probably going to go about there. So we've got that nice piece which has already got quite a lot of roots on as well, as you can see. So I'm going to just pop him straight back in his jar of water. So there's one. So same with this one. Oh, that's actually got some new sprouts on it. I don't know if you can see those there. So that's really long. So we definitely don't need all that. Little leaf broken off there. So again, we're going to cut, leaving plenty of room to reroot this healthy material. So again, straight back in the water. So there's those two bits done. We'll see what we've got here now. So that one, I don't know, I might leave that one just to root because it's got so many roots. So that hopefully will become a nice plant. So I think we'll leave him. I've now selected a couple more pieces with lots of roots. So hopefully that might help speed up the propagation process a little more once we tuck them all into their tray to get growing. Right, so we are now going to start chopping up our nice bald rhizome stems. I have quickly grabbed a tray of prepared potting soil for this to root in. So bearing in mind that begonias can get a bit rotty and melty when they get too wet, I've made up this mixture, so there's probably about 20% perlite in here, and there's also a handful or two of sand which I've mixed in just for good measure. So that is probably about an inch deep, maybe slightly over. I've also got the corresponding fitting lid. Now these are only cheap, so they don't fit terribly well, which is actually a good thing because that will make sure there's a bit of airflow going on inside here. So we'll just pop that one down there for a minute. So just make sure that that is all nice and firmed down. So I'm just going to give this a quick spray with my sprayer, just to make sure that is all nicely dampened down on the top of the soil there. There we go, that's probably enough. Yep, that's a lot heavier now. So we're just going to make these a bit smaller just so they're a bit easier to handle. So I'm going for maybe 2 inches long. Obviously it does not have to be exact. Oh, there's a nice growth point there. Go in between those two sprouts and there. Some more new growth. That's probably now let's split that into 2 and then that one into 2 as well. So there's those. So we've got now lots of little pieces that we'll be able to add to our tray, and hopefully we can get those to sprout and grow into full plants. The last stage now, all we're going to do is sink these into the soil. They don't have to be all the way in. In fact, I think it's probably better if they're not, so they're still getting some air. So I'll do, oh, that's quite bendy. So I'll just tuck a few in and then I'll show you so you can get a better view of what I'm doing. Oh my goodness. Make sure those roots are tucked in as well. Hopefully that will speed up the process a bit. Oh, look at that one, wow. Right, so I'll just tuck this one in and then I'll show you more closely what I'm doing. So there we go. Hopefully you can see that I've just laid those on the soil and given them a little push down so they're in really good contact with the soil. So I will just get on with now popping the rest in here. There we go. So I'll just hold that up. I will pop a close-up in as well. So they're all just pushed down onto the surface of the soil, just enough to make them hopefully realise there's now soil around and they've got something a bit more nutritious that they can grow in. So I'm just going to give that another little spray. Not too much, we don't want it to be too soggy in here. And then we are going to pop the lid on, just like that. So that's pretty much it. All we need to do now is wait and possibly take the lid off here every now and then just to give it a good airing. So I'm really hoping to be able to do a follow-up video in maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Hopefully I'll start to see lots of new growth popping off these little bare stems. So fingers crossed. I'm really looking forward to seeing if it works because I love begonias and it is a fascinating process. So thank you very much for popping along to my channel today. Please do hit those like and subscribe buttons if you found this useful. And also I'd love to hear below in the comments about your experiences propagating begonias. What are your favourite methods? What have you tried? What have you had the most success with? What's been an absolute dismal failure? These are all things that I would love to know about. So please do leave a comment and I will see you soon. Thanks again. Bye.